Hey everybody, welcome to the weekly Wednesday live stream, or well, excuse me. I guess it's I don't know why, but I'm on Wednesday time. How are y'all doing out there? It is so great to be back. So, on this stream, what I am hoping for is that you guys will be able to see me and hear me. So if you guys are having any problems, just let me know because I am on a different computer today. So what I was going to do is I was going to catch up with you guys and see what's been going on. So leave me a comment and let me know what you've been doing. And we're going to go over the books that I have read. Now, mind you, I only had Morning BRT. I only had wow, I guess it was like 15 days or so to like read these books. So there's not too many, but let's just go over them very quickly. Okay. So, eh, okay. Now, one of the first ones that I actually started reading was this one. And this is a book about the yogurt shop murders. I wanted to read this one for a while now. And yeah, I finally got a chance to. I had always started it and then I never got a chance to finish it. So it was like about right here whenever I started it. And then woo, finally finished it. It was really good, actually. There's a lot of information in there. I kind of feel like now I want to go back and redo the video about the yogurt shop. Hashtag Mondays are murder. Remember, guys, I do a series called Mondays are Murder, and I highlighted the yogurt shops for season 1. And season 1 does not have a voiceover, but season 2 does. So I'm kind of trying to see how this goes and, just seeing how the voiceover goes and seeing how it works out. So we have this one, which was really good. Like I said, there was a lot of good details in there about the crimes and what happened to the girls and theories as well. You also get like at the end of the book where the author is thanking the people who helped her. She actually explains places in Austin where they met and where she got her information from. So that was really awesome. I've been to a lot of these places. And then of course, cover 3. I mean, yeah. So anyway, that was a really good book. Like I said, a lot of great information. I'm really thinking about going back and revisiting the yogurt shop murders in a different point of time with my Mondays or Murder series. So let's see. Yay. Okay, great. So, absolutely, guys, it's so great to have you. Since I'm not seeing any problems with the stream so far, I will keep going. So, if you guys want me to kind of spoil the endings for you for these books, I absolutely will. I'll let you know, hashtag spoiler before I do that. But yeah, and also if you want updated information as far as like 2017, you can get that in this book. So, all right, next one, we have The Apartment. And this was a good book. Okay, so I found this on clearance at the bookstore. And it's a story about this couple, Mark and Steph. They have a young daughter, Hayden. She's like a little toddler. And so they have, so there's this horrible break-in in their house. I'm sorry, I don't understand why the camera keeps flickering. I apologize, guys. Maybe it's because I keep doing this with the books. So I apologize. I'll keep them a little closer now. Okay, so Mark and Steph, they have a home invasion. Their life has changed afterwards, so they decide to do a home swap thing with these people in Paris because they've always wanted to go to Paris and see it. So that's what they do. They put their home up for a house swap. And if you guys don't know what that is, that's where you put your home like in a classified ad and you switch your home with somebody else's. And they switch with you for like a week or 2 or however long, you want to, I guess, find a couple. So anyway, you got to find a couple, you got to find a house that match. So they take one of the first cheapest ones. They go there. They have the most crappy experience because the apartment is nothing as advertised. So while they're there, a lot of odd things happen to them in this dilapidated apartment complex and in this crappy apartment itself. So anyway, then they go back home and it's like it followed them there. All of the terrible luck and all the terrible events that happened to them in Paris while they were in the apartment followed them home. So Okay, so if you don't want to know a spoiler, I suggest you just turn away right now. And then I'll let you know when you come back. But anyway, it was so good. The ending basically was about that there was an evil inside the apartment complex that they went to and visited in Paris. And while they were there, the woman who lived there jumped out of the window right in front of them. So she committed suicide right in front of him. And before she did, she said, "I'm sorry that this has to be you. Hopefully it will die with me. If not, it's going to follow," or something like that. So Mark and Steph had no idea what this woman meant until they went home. And it seemed like all of the terrible ghostly events that plagued them while they were staying in the apartment in Paris followed them home. And it turned Mark, like it possessed him almost. And Mark had a daughter and a previous wife, and the daughter died from a tetanus infection. And he didn't realize, he was just so busy with his wife who was fighting cancer. And he was really selfish at that time. He just let it go, and he didn't realize it until it was too late. So his daughter died. And it was basically because of him. So anyway, so it's like the daughter that died is haunting Mark after they leave the apartment in Paris, and she drives him to murder people. And so anyway, that's what it does at the end. He murders one of their best friends that helped them through the whole trip. And kind of like gave him the idea. I don't remember exactly her name, but she was a good friend of Mark's. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, he murders her. So the wife takes her daughter and leaves, and she rents out the house to somebody else so that the way the evil will leave will follow them now and leave her and her daughter alone. And so that the evil that they brought home with them in Paris will go to somebody else. And it's really tragic because this woman, Steph, had so much turmoil about, should she just demolish the home that they brought the evil, their home, actually, the one that Mark killed the woman in, and that was haunting their home now that they brought home from Paris. She wondered, should she knock the home down? Should she sell it? Should she rent it? Should she just leave it unoccupied and let the bank take over? I mean, she was really conflicted on what to do, because she knew, she was able to trace it back into understand what the people who own the building were trying to do. They were trying to get the evil out of it by renting it to people, hoping that the evil would go with them and leave the building. But so anyway, her decision to pass the evil to somebody else, sort of like in It Follows, it was that was, very gut-wrenching that somebody would do that. So okay, anyway, The Beach. I read this book a long time ago, long time ago. I don't remember what the actual copyright is on the book, but I read this, I think, possibly in college, either that or afterwards. But I always wanted to read it again because I really enjoyed it. And so Richard was a really, you kind of touched with them and you kind of liked him, but you kind of didn't get too much information about him to kind of get too personal about him, the way you did like with Mark and Steph in the apartment. But it was a really good read, especially for the storyline. Excuse me. This one is more of like a slow burn, where the buildup is not until the great climax at the end. And this one is where you're going to get a lot of great bumps in the storyline, from climaxes and things that keep driving you forward to kind of like a mild ending, which is what it's supposed to do. But you follow Richard and his journey with his friends to the beach and them finding it, and then what happens once they're there. It is a lot similar to the movie. There's a couple of things, obviously, that don't happen, but it's still a really great read. I've had this book for a long time. I mean, it's like 400 pages, but still, I mean, it's very easy to read. So absolutely, The Beach by Alex Garland. Very high five. Now, please do not think I am egotistical or narcissistic. What's up, Mario? It's so great to have you. Hey, Sarah. What's BRT? It's so great to have you here. Declan, it's been, Declan, don't worry. Life happens. Absolutely. It's so great to have you here. Cody, it's great to have you. Debbie, I hope you were enjoying those American Horror Story DVDs. Love you. Michael, it's so great to have you too. Michael's been rereading the Harry Potter series. I should have thought about that. I have all of them too. Marcus, love you too. Thank you so much for being here. Now, please don't think I'm narcissistic. What's up, Yessie? It's so nice to have you. Please don't think I was narcissistic, guys. I just sometimes the test of a good writer is going back and rereading your books because this one is, remember, the book that I wrote and that I came out with last year. So, and I've always gone, I just haven't actually gone through it ever since I first published it. So I wanted to go through and just reread it and see, because the test of a writer is that if you can hook yourself on your own book. I have not looked at this thing. I haven't, just the spine, because it's been on my shelf, but I haven't looked at the inside in so long. So I went back, it's almost been a year, and I just wanted to see if it stands up against my judgment, and it sure does. I love my plots, my storyline, my characters. I love this book that I wrote. So, okay. I don't know, there must be a smudge on the camera, guys. I apologize if it keeps going in and out. I would have used my phone, but I wanted everybody to know that I was going to be streaming, so maybe I should have used my phone. Anyway, if there's any problems, then I'll switch to my phone. But guys, this is one of my favorite books, Christine by Stephen King, and I had to go back and reread it. I have read this book 100 times. I mean, I still have the receipt from when I purchased it, September 4th, 2011. Wow, 2011? Wow. I would have had this one a long time ago. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, so I used to get this copy from the library when where I lived, but I finally got this weird version. I guess I got it on clearance because I have oh yeah. This is the limited edition one. Okay. So, but it's one of my favorite books and I read it so much. I always keep like an old used copy to read, sort of like I do like with The Exorcist and Jaws. Those are books that I read a lot. And so I like to keep kind of old scruffy copies to kind of take the beat and batter of a lot of wear. And see, there is one quote from this book that I just love. So if a lot of you don't know, this is Christine. This is the book that Stephen King wrote about the car, about Arnie, the nerd, purchasing this car. So it was on page 106. So that way, if I ever want to like note something in one of the books, I could actually write it in an older kind of crusted copy rather than a first edition, which I normally have. But yeah, I love this. I cannot describe to you, this has to be one of my top 10 favorite books aside from The Exorcist and Jaws, because I love Christine so much. The buildup in here and just how Stephen King has you matching with not Arnie, obviously, but the Denny. How Stephen King has you actually identifying with Denny through his descriptions and his. A lot of people would say that Stephen King probably ranters in his earlier writing, but I love it. I love all that ranting that he does because it helps you identify and get more in sync with the storyline and the actual character. So because of that, I love Christine. I love this book. I love the shimmery scariness of the fact of Denny just scared of this car ever since the first time they saw it. And the oddities, like the history of Christine with the owner. And I love the story about Denny, how he meets the brother of Raleigh in the old shackled hotel room. And so the brother tells him of, his brother Raleigh, when he bought the car, his past in the army, and then when he had the car, and then how he let it sit, and then how the car used to be serviced at Darnell's with Raleigh. So it was just like those little awesome, eerie coincidences that Stephen matches together. And when you are alone in the dark at night, it scares the pants off of you. So I love Christine. Love it. I absolutely had to go back and check that. So, absolutely. Love it. Oh my God, Debbie, I'm so sorry. Yes, I will actually send you. I'm so sorry. I've been promising Debbie, I feel like an asshole. I've promised Debbie that I would send her a digital copy of Murder by Alpha. In case you guys, I can't believe this. I just barely mentioned it. I didn't even tell you what it was. So basically, this book is about the life of women through the eyes of men. So every guy in the book has a story. So that's how the chapters are divided, is by every guy's story and how they intersect each other. And but they're all basically living the lives of women, but they're just in place of men. So anyway, it's there's a very hard, brutal scene at the beginning, and every time I read it now, I can't believe that I wrote it too, because it's a very brutal rape at the beginning of the book. And now every time I go back and I read it, I cry my eyes out because I cannot believe that I wrote something that brutal to happen to somebody. And I feel so terrible that, Max doesn't exist or anything like that. Obviously, he's just a character. But to the writer who actually writes these characters, they really do feel like real people. I mean, to make the books believable and to really get in sync with your storyline and your characters and to be able to write well. I've always said this in my books of how to write and publish your novel, that you should be so in sync with your characters that you should even think like them. So yeah, obviously, I really feel for this character that I had horribly, unfortunately, brutally raped at the beginning of the book. But it was essential to the storyline, and it drove him to, play out in the book. So we'll talk about that obviously one day when when I started filming, or excuse me, I started doing the scripts for how to write and publish your novel when I was away, but I just haven't done anything. I didn't do any filming. All I did was reading. So thank you, Kelvin. Kelvin says he likes the cover to the book. Right. I want to be an author. Actually, what would you say is the first thing I should do? Kelvin, I say you should write. That's the first thing you should absolutely do. Just write something. It's easier to publish and to edit a full page rather than a blank one. So you have to write. This was my 4th published novel. My 5th one came out on Halloween. So trust me there, you have to write. Don't worry about editing. Don't worry about perfection. Just write. BRT says, I think autofocus or auto light adjustment is causing the flicker. Thank you, BRT. Probably so. It's starting to cloud over right now outside when it was very bright and beautiful this morning. So Kelvin says, love Christine, the book, the movie, not so much. Yeah, the book was really great. The movie I really liked because of the guy who played Denny. He was also in My Science Project. I just don't remember his name exactly right now. I would remember it if I saw it, or, I'm going to feel like an ass. But I would remember it if I saw it. But I thought he was just so hot as Denny and so perfect as Denny. Because, when I saw Christine, I was a young girl. So can't believe I just said that. But I've been promising Debbie that I would send her this digital copy. And then I went away for those 2 weeks. So Debbie, I swear to you, as soon as this video, or as soon as this live stream is over, I will send you the digital copy. I'm so sorry. You're awesome, Debbie. Thank you for being so sweet. Marcus says you should check out Richard Lehman. I've bought and read almost every book by him. Really? I will absolutely check that out, Marcus. Thank you so much. What's up, LLLLLLL? John Stockwell. Yes, that was him. Yes, John Oh, yeah. He was so dreamy back, when I was a kid, late 80s and things like that. He was just so dreamy. And, I was like 11 or something like that. So absolutely. Thank you, LLLLLL. Thank you, BRT. You guys are so awesome. That is, yeah, John Stockwell. He was just so dreamy to me. Yeah. So that's why I liked Christine, the movie, just essentially because of him and the car. But I completely agree and understand what you said. Kelvin says, have you recorded any audio for your books? Like make them audiobooks? If not, would you? No, Kelvin, I have thought about it, but that is a lot of money that I can't invest in right now. What's up, Omar? What's Debbie says Harry Dean Stanton is in that too, although not as dreamy, LOL. Yeah, was that the guy who played Arnie? Because I loved how they made him look like a geek, but yet if you saw like how at the end he was in Christine and like at Back to School, that movie like with Rodney Dangerfield, I mean he was a hottie. So if you're not talking about Arnie, Debbie, I feel like an ass. So um, Kelvin, going back to your thing about audio, I have not. I've looked into it, but like I said, it's a little too expensive for me right now. But I have thought, and I have been working on making my books into like a short story, sort of like summing them up into like a video on that just acts it out, either with like cool little stick figures or just some sort of like really cool animation. And just kind of like as a short version, like Regina, Resurrection, Repetrate, and Reckoning, you know. So anyway, I have thought about doing something like that. And I have started, I found a location. Excuse me. Blake and I are going to shoot my short story replay and turn it into a film. We have the 4 actors. We have the cast, we have the location, and we just need to like sort of like every day we're coming closer to like shutting down details. So I'm really excited because it looks like it's happening. We're going to actually shoot um, replay and make that into a short film. And then we're going to do the same thing with family. And then I have a brand new short story that I'm actually going to, I don't know, I actually forgot about this one. It's a short story about justice. I mean, it's really short. It's like a page and a half. It's like less than 1,000 words. But I got to put that one out too. So there's a lot. I mean, I was very productive during this whole time that I wasn't like on social media. So let me finish with the books because ironically, I am not done. I have to, it is just so great to have you guys. I am going to go back and Michelle, my bell, I'm going to come right back. So great to have you. Yes, LLLL, I've seen it. Well, okay. We're going to go back to this. Don't let me forget. Let me finish with my books very quickly because I read a lot, and we'll go back and answer that. So I, of course, read If Chins Could, or excuse me, the sequel, to Hail to the Chins, which is If Chins Could Kill. And I absolutely loved it. Now, this one was a little different than this one. So I did go back and I read If Chins Could Kill. So I kind of read this one, and then I went back to read this one. Or excuse me, I went back to read this one, and then I went to read this one. Because this has to be one of my top favorite books of all time. I was in Half Price Books. I don't remember exactly when. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 2009. 2009. Thank goodness for receipts. I always put the receipts in my books of when I buy something. And this was an employee pick, and I always take the employee picks very seriously, especially in bookstores. I think that they really do know what they're talking about. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I love Bruce Campbell. Snatch. Its mofo is mine. So it's one of my favorite books, especially because he talks at length about the Evil Dead and how they did it. A lot of their struggles, like the bitter cold, the no funding, how the hell they, strapped on their hooker boots, laced those bitches up, and went out there and hookered their movie. I mean, it was really great research, especially if you are an independent filmmaker and you don't know how to improvise and do certain things. I mean, Bruce was just really great, from the scripts to how they did the lighting, the filming, how they got certain shots. I mean, he even draws the diagrams in there for you. It's phenomenal. He talks about the actors, other actresses, and it's just one of my favorite top books of all times. So when the sequel came out, because Bruce has a second book, and it's Make Love the Bruce Campbell Way, which is a fictional book. And it's been a long time since I've read it, but it was really good too. So when this one came out, I obviously had to read it. And so I didn't get a chance to really start it because I'd been so busy with social media when it came out late last year. But I finally got a chance to actually go through and read entire page by page, which I have to say, it was phenomenal because Bruce talks a lot about his personal life. which, as you guys know, if you're a Bruce Campbell fan, such as myself, you know that he's married, he's got a couple of kids, but Bruce does not keep them in the spotlight at all, at all. I mean, he doesn't ever mention them and things like that, which that's great. Bruce loves his privacy. He is a really sweet guy. There have been so many people who have met him, and every single person talks about how pleasant and wonderful it was to meet Bruce Campbell and just how much of a great guy he is. So therefore, nobody really, tests him on his privacy and things like that. So he actually put a lot of personal information about him and his wife, not so much about his kids, which I totally, understand there. But he put a lot of information there about his personal life and him and his wife, some of the things they do, the car accidents they'd had, the experience he'd had, and things with his friends. And then, of course, it talks about Burn Notice. It talks about Bubba Hotep. It talks about the movies that he also did after Evil Dead. So it's really what the book mostly talks about is his life and his career after Army of Darkness. And at the end, which is my favorite, it talks about Ash versus Evil Dead and how they kind of got together to rewrite everything. Or excuse me, not to rewrite everything, but how they had all gotten together to pitch it and to try to get it sold. And it was just amazeballs. I loved it. I love all of Bruce Campbell's work, I gotta say. Even his B grade movies, which aren't so B grade to me. Oh, Mark Lar, just have a lot of books. Okay, so last books, and then we're done. Now, this is one of my favorites, Memoirs of a Geisha. I didn't read the entire thing, I have to say. I only read like 3/4 of it because I've read this book. This is one of the books I've read 100 times. And this is one of my favorite copies just because of the old-fashioned printing on there. You can see like with the pages of how they're not perfect. And they're kind of jagged at the end, almost as if they're like kind of like edgy and torn a little. But I love that. I love that kind of a book. So this book is phenomenal. This is by Arthur Golden. And he did a phenomenal job. Oh my God, it really does feel like you were this poor orphan girl freezing and starving, back in like the 1920s and trying to become something else other than the life of a maid to a girl who hates you and goes out of her way to make your life a living hell. I mean, it's phenomenal. Just the way that you can submerge yourself into Sayuri's story, or Chiyo's story, and her struggles in her life from as childhood to adulthood. It's phenomenal. It's a great read. A lot of metaphors and similes, a lot of descriptions. So, but trust me, the book is good from just page 1 to the end. So if you really want to spend some time and just submerge yourself in a character, sort of like I do in Christine, then this one is definitely for you because it was really fantastic. And it also gives you some great answers to the Japanese culture and to what a geisha actually is and her place sort of like in society. So I hate the stupid autofocus. I'm so sorry, guys. We're still going to just be working here. So anyway, this is the next one. Now, where would I be without watching a little bit of true crime? So, of course, I had to get a true crime book. Now, this is one of my favorites because this one is from Time Life. Oh, yeah, there we go. Time Life books. Okay, come on, computer. Focus on it. And there we go. Okay. So it's at least focused on me. And I love this one because, and the main reason why I bought it was because it covers the Zodiac. And these Time Life books were very popular when I was in college. I read basically every single one of them. And it has a lot of extra cases in there too. But I like to go back because it includes a lot of evidence, a lot of information, and it's just not on me. I didn't realize it at the time that I bought it, but Mondays or Murder was going to cover the murder of Ken Hasley. Darn it. Sorry. Beyond Solution. Maybe that's 70 maybe that's 79. Darn it. Ken Elsey said it was the guy who was murdered in public, basically by the entire town. Yeah. And I didn't realize it at the time, but when I bought this book, obviously he's in it. So now I'm going to do a Mondays Are Murder video on it. I already have some excellent research because this is long research. Jesus. I mean, they give you a lot of pictures too. I mean, this is the picture from the guy from like his elementary school days. So seriously, Time Life like gets their shit dug in deep with information. So yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was really cool. So I had to go back and kind of like reread these old cases. I just thought it was awesome. And one that I was currently reading, but obviously I'm going to have to stop because now it's February 1st. I'm back on social media, but it was Beneath the Lake by Christopher Ransom. I love Christopher Ransom. He is an author that lives in Colorado, and his first book, I think, was The People Next Door, and then it was The Birthing House. And so I picked up his first 2 books at the bookstore, and I just loved them. So I sent him an email to let him know, because his contact information is at the back. And usually if it's like a new author I've discovered or something, I'll send them something and just say, hey, I loved your book, and see if I get a reply. He replied. So I always read his books because he's such a nice guy, and he writes well, good, intense, suspense, scary stories with a good little click at the end. So I absolutely recommend Christopher Ransom, and I'm kind of pissed now that I'm back on social media because if all of these books that I read, this one was the most one that I was looking forward to, and I can't believe I was an idiot and saved it for last. So, all right. Those were all of the books that I read through the whole time. So, Maisie, it's so great to see you. I'm glad you're here. Bruce is hot, says everybody. Okay, so let's go ahead. I agree. Bruce Campbell is very hot. Mad respect for him. There's been many times where I could have went to one of his events in Austin, but the last time I was here, we had the flu. And it was just insane. So they were showing The Evil Dead Part 2 way out in the woods in Austin. And Bruce was going to be there kind of like narrating through the whole thing. I really wanted to go. Tickets were like $100 each. But Blake and I could not go. So yeah. Anyway, I really want to do that one day and meet Bruce Campbell. So we'll see. Omar, where can you get one? Well, you have to win them through contests and stuff like that. Dawn Ford has won one, but I gotta still send it to her. But I'm sorry, right now I don't have merch open yet. So Maisie, it's so great. Debbie says that's my daughter's favorite. Which one, Debbie? Which book was your daughter's favorite? Okay, so let's talk about It. I definitely saw It, and I did a review, and I apologize. I just have not posted it. I have not finished wrapping up and editing the video, but that's what I intend to be doing for the next couple of days is Marcus, tell your grandma we said hello. Oh, Memoirs of a Geisha, Debbie says that her daughter loves. Yeah, Debbie, that was such a great book. It's fantastic. I have to say, I agree with your daughter. She has great taste in books. So I'm going to be making a lot of videos, and I made a mistake on a couple of Mondays Are Murder videos. I have like this little opening that I did not attach on the first couple of episodes. And then I made a mistake on episode 4. So then my title for episode 4 dropped out. And so I was like, crap, now I don't have anything for episode 4, which I usually pre-make these videos, and then I didn't do crap. But episode 5, I'm really happy of Mondays Are Murder is of Amerithrax. And that's one of my favorite cases. So I had to absolutely do that one. And so guys, if you have not had a chance to, go check out Mondays Are Murder. I am narrating them now. I'm sorry, my hair is tickling my nose. So I'm narrating them now. The captions are out. So hopefully you guys enjoy them. The first one just came out. That's about the Colonial Parkway murders. And then of course, season 1's available if you guys want to go back and watch. So yeah, it was fantastic. Like I said, I'm going to do my review, post it. You know what, guys? I will make that one my top priority, and I will post it. Either look for it tonight or tomorrow morning. Okay, because I think I'm just going to sit here at the computer and just eat today. I don't know, it's just one of those days where you just want to sit down and just eat. I think that's what I'm going to do. And so I'm just going to probably edit these videos. Ironically, I have a ton of videos recorded. I just have to edit them. And that's what takes a lot of the time. So that brings me back to American Horror Story, guys. Let's talk about American Horror Story and 911 and American Crime Story. Let's talk about everything of that right now. Now, as far as I know for American Horror Story, Ryan was quiet during the rest of January. I did not see where there was any other information that came out about season 8. Let me get to Google real quick and let me just check it just to make sure. Come on. Click, 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 clatter, clatter, clatter. That's, God, I feel like one of those chicks from Office Space. Season 8. Just a moment. YouTube, this is Mary. Just a moment. Okay, so yeah, no news on American Horror Story season 8. It seems like Ryan just smacked the shit out of us on January 6th when he gave the information at that Television Critics Association tour. So if you guys want to know again what that was, you can just go see my video. I did absolutely post that update. So thank you, BRT. I heart Mondays Are Murder too. I just want one of those videos to help find a lost child, help find a killer, or solve a crime. That's just all I want. I don't want much. I just want one of those videos to help catch one of those sons of bitches or help find a lost child. So that's all. Debbie says, love Versace and 911. So I have not had a chance to watch Versace, but I have watched 911. We're like in the 4th episode, and I have recorded videos covering reviews for 911. So I'm just trying to get the video or edit the video and sync with the pictures and then get the, I got to get the pictures. So I got to gain the images, and it's so long for me to do. I realize now how doing my script, my editing, or doing my script, actually recording it, and then if I'm doing a voiceover, I got to get images, and if I'm doing it just like this, I still got to go through and edit. Oh my God, it's taking so long. And now I feel like this really big airport with lots of little airplanes backed up, lots and lots of videos that are backed up. Kelvin asks, have you ever saw the movie Sometimes They Come Back? I have. I loved that book. It was so painfully real because I was a chubby little fat kid. And I even was in high school. I mean, I wasn't, mammoth, but I had some extra pounds. And I kind of kept things that way because, I don't know, it was just my defense mechanism. Nobody really got too close to me and nobody really noticed me or cared. So that way I graduated and went to college, moved away and slimmed down severely. And yeah, but I had bullies, and sometimes they were so brutal, and not like Sometimes They Come Back. But it really makes me think that Stephen King has this thing about bullies, that maybe he had the same problem, because it does seem to be dominant in a lot of his work, and the bully seems to be deathly brutal. Where yet I may have had bullies, but it never ever turned. Never did I ever think I was ever going to die, ever, because my dad's a black belt in karate, and he taught his daughter. He had a studio. So I am not one without knowing how to defend myself. So, I do identify with that stuff. Love it very much. And I have seen Sometimes They Come Back. It's amazing. Really great movie. I have not read the book, though. I think I have it, but I haven't read it. So let's see. Let me check comments again. And so, guys, we have about 20 minutes left. Rescue 911. Let's talk about Ryan Murphy's shows for another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to spend the last 10 minutes talking about season 3 of Ash versus Evil Dead. And then we're going to be out on this live stream. So I really hope you guys are enjoying the stream, and I hope you guys had a nice time while I was away. I barely kept in contact with my admins. I literally pulled myself away from social media. I think we even unplugged the internet on certain days, so that way nobody could. So anyway, so Kelvin says, I love Sleepwalkers. LOL, the mom is crazy. I know, right? How in love she is with her son. It's kind of like a Ryan Murphy thing. But okay, so Rescue 911 has been fantastic. I like the main character, Buck. That's Peter Krause. He is smoking in my terms. I know you guys are probably thinking, oh my gosh, he's older, but that's my thing. I am not like Connie Britton's character in 911. I would never hit on Buck. Buck, remember, he's like 24, 26. He's the young guy in the firefighters, trying to prove something, always, very cocky. Yeah, Abby. So that's her name. Abby, the Connie Britton's character, the 911 operator, has kind of been like, she asked him out on a date. Oh shit, spoiler guys. Shit, if you guys have not seen 911 or anything like that, just don't watch the rest. Come back in like 10 more minutes. Thank you, Debbie. He was great in 6 Feet Under as Nate. That's where I fell in love with Peter Krause in the first place. Oh, so hot. And did you guys also notice that the chick who played Taylor from the OC, she was Buck's therapist, the one who Buck slept with after, in the amusement park episode. Oh, I thought I loved seeing her. And then we have the woman who was the charlatan from True Blood from season 1, the one who exorcised Letty Mae and Tara. So that woman, she is in Rescue 911. Let's see who else from True Blood. I swear to God, there's been like some really great actors from HBO that have seemed to sign on to Ryan Murphy's shows. And it's almost like Ryan is like the new Alan Ball, it seems like, because that's who did the 6 Feet Under series, was Alan Ball. So Ryan has really got himself some great shows, because I really do like 911. Remember, guys, that's the show with the paramedics. Peter Krause, like I said, is hot in it. And I would totally, if I was single, I would totally hit on him. I'm so sorry, but there's nothing appealing for someone as young as Buck. I mean, yeah, he's adorable, but the only thing I want to do is pinch the shit out of his cheeks and give him a whole bunch of milk and cookies and encourage him to go to college and be the best that he can be. I'm sorry, I don't find anything sexual about him at all. Now, Peter Krause is the one that I would bring home. I'd pour the wine. I'd, like try to romance. And, if I'm going to pinch his cheeks, it's going to be his butt cheeks. So I don't understand Connie Britton's whole attraction to Buck. Maybe you guys do. Let me know what you guys would do in the comments. Who would you hit on more? Would you hit on Bobby, who is Peter Krause, or would you hit on Buck, who is that young, guy? If you're watching 911, Marcus, that's hilarious. Akeem, it's so great to have you here. So let me know who you guys would go for. Would you go for the little bit older, very distinguished, wise, older gentleman? Or would you go for the young, irresponsible, probably doesn't know how to wipe his butt properly, 24-year-old young kid that you probably have to nurse every 5 minutes because he has mommy issues? I'm sorry. No, Buck is really adorable. He has a lot of redeeming qualities. I loved how in episode 2, it showed him trying to rescue, or, he was very cocky in episode 1. And then in episode 2, he tried to save the guy who, the roller coaster was upside down. So one person was thrown and one guy had actually held on to the restraint, and Buck was trying to save that guy, but he let go instead of grabbing onto Buck's hand, essentially saving himself. I thought episode 2 was very redeeming quality about Buck. It showed us that, yeah, he's young, cocky, and stupid, but he's also very brave, which makes him very great at his job. He's the person who's going to go on top of a fucking roof of a hotel and freaking jump down with a rope and knock a guy back off the ledge from a hotel room. I mean, come on. That's very brave. That's very strong. Who wouldn't want a guy like that? And then, of course, we have the guy Chimney, who is also one of the fellow firefighters, and he gets that rod through his head in an accident after he proposes to his girlfriend and she rejects him. I mean, I don't understand what the fuck is wrong with people, but if a man cooks dinner for me once and he's a brave firefighter and he's hot like Chimney, yeah, those are three good comparisons. Marry that mofo. No. No, anyway, he just seemed like such a sweet, wonderful guy who was just with a woman who was brutally honest about her feelings. I mean, I think that maybe it was not the way to go, but when Chimney proposed to his girlfriend and she rejected him, she was honest. And she said, look, I have commitment issues. I don't want to say yes and do to you what I did to him, which was I cheated on him. I broke his heart. At least she was, honest about this. And she didn't just say, yeah, sure. And then cheat on him, break his heart, ruin his life. And then we have another ruined woman out there breaking more men. I mean, at least she was honest. It wasn't the way to go about it. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe Bobby was wrong to get on Chimney like he did. Um, you know, I kind of see where he's coming from in the whole thing where he was upset and things like that. But I mean, to just get that upset and then, to be driving so recklessly where you get bumped from behind and, a rail stuck through your head. Yeah, that's woo, that's getting a little too dramatic. And, for me, I just can't do that. I cannot be that dramatic. I'm just not used to that kind of stuff. There's drama here with me and my kids, and my husband. So I don't know. I just can't, that's kind of hard for me to connect with Chimney when he got so upset and he was storming down the highway in his car and all that stuff. So anyway, yeah, so 911 was definitely great. I loved the twist about the guy who called 911 because the dogs had turned on him in the house. And it turned out that the dogs hadn't turned on him. They had actually trapped him. He was a burglar. And then Angela Bassett's own daughter tries to commit suicide because of bullies. And Angela Bassett turns it around and arrests the bully who was threatening her daughter and stuff for like possession. And yeah, it was a really fantastic show. I'm loving Angela Bassett on this show. I'm loving Connie Britton on this show. I'm loving Peter Krause. I'm loving the guy who plays Buck and the chick who came from True Blood, the African-American woman with the glasses and the head shaved. Oh, she's gorgeous. How many women can rock? Valley, okay? Valley, oh, you okay? Okay, sorry. Just make my daughter's just right there. I thought I heard a squeak, and I just want to make sure she was okay. How many women can have a shaved head and rock it so awesome and hotly like she does? So yeah, I'm gonna have to find out her name and keep an eye out on her. But I absolutely loved 911. I'm definitely gonna keep watching, and I feel like an idiot because I think it came on last night and I didn't even watch it. But I'm kind of doing my reviews a little differently now, and actually with photos and clips from the actual episode themselves. So I kind of do have to wait a little bit. Anyway, so now it's 10:20. Let's get off of Ryan's balls and praising him for a moment, and let's talk about Ash versus Evil Dead season 3. So excited, so excited, so excited for Ash versus Evil Dead season 3. So season 3 is going to take us to I don't know exactly where, but we're going to a school where Ash's daughter, I guess, is going, and the Evil Dead is now residing. So we find out in this season that Ash has a daughter. I think, in fact, maybe he has two. I'm not positive, so please do not quote me on that. I know he definitely has one, and possibly the boy is her boyfriend or clingy brother. Could possibly be. My brothers were very, very, very clingy of their baby sister. Jesus Christ. I didn't even have a name, guys, when I was little. I was Bobby and Scott's little sister. Seriously, nobody knew me as Mary or anything. I was always Bobby and Scott's little sister. When you cease to exist without a name and you just have a title, yeah, I understand how this poor girl feels being in the shadow of Ash. But so yeah, it's either his son and his daughter or his daughter and her boyfriend. But then we also have the mom, Ash's old girlfriend, and Pablo's uncle is coming back. I saw him in the previews. So I mean, this is fantastic. I'm looking so forward to season 3. It's almost like to have another Evil Dead movie because each episode is 30 minutes long. So if you have 10 episodes, that's 5 hours. I mean, come on. So far, we have 10 hours, plus the 3 movies of The Evil Dead and the character of Ash Williams. And this is fantastic. I mean, as a true fan, somebody who from the 80s actually saw these movies, the original trilogy, followed it, and just was endeared with it as a child. I love, love, love the fact that Ash vs. Evil Dead is still living and that we're getting season 3. So I'm so excited for this, guys. I cannot wait for season 3. It starts the 25th, and that's in 25 days, and I don't give a fuck about The Walking Dead. Please excuse my insanely excuse me, I'm not saying this right. I'm enunciating my grammar wrong. I just don't care about The Walking Dead. Please excuse me for saying that because I know a lot of you out there love it, and I love Tammy so much, and she really loves The Walking Dead and Casey. So it's never to ever offend anybody who does. But I just can't anymore with the show. I mean, I know that they changed the writer, but basically, if nobody knows, they promoted Scott Gimple. And that's fantastic for him. You know, he's still AMC's little bitch boy, and he has a lot of creative control. So absolutely. I mean, I just don't care anymore. And I am so fascinated with Ash versus Evil Dead that's the show that I will be watching immediately when it comes on Stars. So I'm ready to go. I have Stars. I'm good to go. Salem Swamp Witch says, I don't give a fuck about The Walking Dead. Ah, ha, ha, I love you, Mary. She says, same here. Love you too, Salem Swamp Witch. Yeah, exactly. Just don't give, I don't care if it flies, runs, or goes by train. I just don't give a fuck about that fuck. So, yeah, I am so excited. Bruce Campbell, Dana De Lorenzo, and Ray Santiago. And then, of course, we have Lucy Lawless. Love Lucy Lawless. I think she is just kicking ass in Ash versus Evil Dead. Spoiler, though, if you guys have not seen season 2 or season 1, Ruby's character was killed at the end of season 2. However, the younger Ruby still exists, and I am so excited. 80s Ruby still exists. And you know what? You definitely know that Lucy Lawless bathes in the blood of virgins if 80s Lucy Lawless looks basically the exact same as 2018 Lucy Lawless. Okay, there's almost a fucking 40-year difference here, people. 40-year difference, and that woman is still just as hot and tight and just like everything. I mean, come on. Lucy Lawless is like, I worship her when it comes to taking care of herself and her body. Yeah, absolutely. And she's a fantastic actress. So I absolutely love her. And okay, so yeah, guys, it looks like then that we're going to start wrapping up the live stream. If you guys would like a shout out, please let me know in the comments. But I really wanted to catch up with you guys, let you know what I've been doing and that videos are coming. Like I said, I have a lot of them filmed and ready. I just have to sync a lot of them in the editing, and then I have to actually edit the video. And yeah, I'm just going to be so busy making videos. But so probably what I'm going to do is for the month of February, I am just going to make the American Horror Story Weekly Wednesday live streams Patreon only. and then come back in March. Now, obviously, if there's some big breaking news, that's fantastic. I'm definitely going to make a video about it and break it to you guys. But for right now, I'm going to keep the weekly Wednesday live streams just strictly for the patrons. They're the ones who pay for the content. So, you know, that's what they love. And so that's what I'm going to do. Salem Swamp Witch says Lucy Lawless is gold. Absolutely. I love her so much. It was so great to have you, Marcus. I really appreciate it. Guys, if you want to shout out, knock it into the comments. So again, my It review, my 911 reviews. Oh, good God. I promise you guys I will do Versace reviews. All that stuff will be coming. Like I said, I'm making videos. Don't forget to check out my series, Monday or Murder. It's every Monday morning at 7 a.m. I release a brand new video. Episode 2 covers Zach Whitman and if he's guilty or innocent. Episode 3 covers the disappearance of Garnell Moore. And episode 4 has dropped. Episode 5 is Amerithrax. Episode 6 is the disappearance of Wendy Campo. You know, those 3 young women. There's the Springfield 3 in there. I mean, there's a lot of mysterious deaths, disappearances. There's 10 episodes. So definitely come and check those out. Guys, if you want to join the Patreon accounts, even $1 earns you those live streams. So link to my Patreon is in the description. Like I said, even $1 a month earns you those weekly Wednesday live streams. Earns you every live stream. Earns you everything, basically, except for the other levels that you know, you don't get twice entered in for the contest and stuff like that. And speaking of contests, I am going to do a contest for February. I'm mailing out something to some contest winners, like Dawn Ford won some books and some stuff. So I'm going to be mailing that to her. So I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to have a contest for February where you guys participate and you're going to win either a $20 gift card from Amazon, or you'll win some merch, or you'll win like some American Horror Story stuff. So I'm still working it out, but I do promise you guys, I decided that right now I don't need to upgrade anything. And so this month, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Patreon money that I earn, and every dollar in Patreon actually goes to improve the channel and pay for all the prizes that I give out. So I'm going to take this month's Patreon money and I'm going to buy a whole bunch of gifts. So I'm going to get some gift cards and I'm going to get some prizes, and I'm going to just like either randomly give them away or make a video that kind of leads up to a major giveaway. I don't know, but I'm thinking of something amazing for the month of February. So I'm just know that that's coming up, and I love you guys so much. I'm so glad to be back. I'm so happy to be back. Again, please expect videos and all that stuff to come back to you. Patrons, please go, or excuse me, patrons will get all the extra stuff. So thank you all so much. Please go check out my Patreon account and consider donating if you can. I would greatly appreciate it. Like I said, every single dollar goes to improve the channel and pay for the prizes that I give you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Debbie, I love you. And I am going to go and send you right now your book. So you are amazeballs and so patient for waiting. Tulsa Mike is asking, hey, Mary, are you going to Texas Frightmare weekend? No, I can't. I have not seen my best friend in like 2 months, and she is about to go nuts, and so am I. So I'm going to be seeing my best friend this weekend and just kind of like catching up on videos. And I want to finish reading that one book. Hey, Valerie, it's okay. Oh my, okay, nope, never mind. All right, guys, so hey, y'all take it easy. Thank you very much for being here. My daughter is deciding to dress right behind me, weirdo. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and come check out other videos. You guys are awesome. Bye, everybody.